We're only going to talk about the general formatting. We're not going to talk about if you were going to be doing in-text citations or anything like that in this video. So I'm going to open up a blank document so that we can begin this. All right, so the first thing I want to do is create a header and a heading. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and create the header first. Now, the header is going to be in this blank space up here that you see, and isn't going to be something that I can easily type on to edit. So there's two ways I can do this. The first way would be to double click into it, but I want to add a page number. And in order for my page number to automatically update when a new page begins, I'm going to need to insert that the proper way. To do that, I'm going to go up here to the Insert button, and then I'm going to go down and select Page Numbers right here. And I'm going to go ahead and select the one that begins at the top of the page, right here for this essay here. All right. So when I do that, you'll see that the page number pops up, and you can see here that I now have a little banner here that tells me that this is my header. Now for MLA formatting, with the latest edition, the 9th edition, I believe it is, it says that it wants my last name to be in front of the page number with one space between it and the page number. So I'm going to give my fictitious student here the last name of Doe and give my little space there. So now my header is properly set up. I need to move back into where I can begin editing the essay. So I'm going to click off of the header, and I will be, now my cursor is at the top of the page. So the next thing I need to do is insert my heading. All right, so that will be my name. All right, I'm going to say my name is Taylor Doe. My teacher's name. So my fictitious teacher will be Mrs. Smith. My class, and I'll say that this is English 4. And the date should be in the day, month, year format. So going by my computer, today would be the 5th day of October, and the year is 2021. All right. So the next thing I need to do for my MLA formatting is to add the title of my essay. All right, the title of my essay. And then I would be able to click underneath this to start typing. However, what I'm going to point out to you here is you see I left a space here in between. I'm actually going to need to delete this. I'm going to need to center my title here, and the easiest way to do that is put my cursor in front of where the title begins or highlight my title, and then go up here to this top menu bar here, and find the little one that looks like this. It looks like my text all lined up there. This is called my alignment choices. So if I click on my drop down, I have the choice of left align, which is what it's preset for, center align, which is what I'm going to use for my title, and right align, which is the way my page number and my last name are in my header. So I'm going to go ahead and click on center because that's going to center the title of my essay. So the next thing I need you to know is that you don't need to have a space between the title of your essay and your heading, and you're not going to need a space between the title of the essay and the beginning of your essay where you begin writing the topics here. So I'm going to point out here that if I want to format this properly, now that I've clicked enter underneath my title, my cursor is still centered. So I want to go back up to the align button and make sure I switch back from the center alignment to my left alignment. All right. So with MLA formatting, each one of my new paragraphs needs to be indented. So I'm going to click the tab button one time. So to indent, click the tab button, which would be typically on your right-hand side of the keyboard. All right. Typically, if your Google document is set up properly, it may automatically indent your following paragraphs for you. However, it does not always do that. So just be aware of that. Okay, so I have added some text in now. And what I wanted to show you is how, after I placed my little tab here, when I hit enter to start my next paragraph, my cursor automatically starts in the next place that I would want it to be. So I'm actually going to add in some more text here to show you what overall this should look like. If you have a paragraph that does not automatically indent, just hit your tab button and it will automatically do that for you again. Now, the text of the essay that I used here is not actually an essay. It's actually the handwritten instructions, I guess, that I have typed out for everybody to show you what MLA format would look like when you have it put through. Ignore the things that are underlined right now. Those are issues with my grammar checker that we are going to talk about in a different video at a different time. So in order for me to finally format this properly, I want to point out to you a few things. First of all, you'll see I don't have an extra space between each one of my paragraphs. I simply have indented at the beginning of each one. Also, all of this is in single space. So the last thing that we need to do now is to double space the essay. When we're double spacing the essay, we actually need to begin all the way at the top where my name is and go all the way to the very last sentence of the essay. Oops, that's my little grammar checker thing popping on there for me. All right, so I have the whole essay now highlighted from the very top where my name begins, my teacher's name, my class name, and the date, the title, everything. So in order to double space this, I could do a couple different things, but the easiest thing to do is actually to go up here to my toolbar again, that's what this is here for, and locate this one, the one that looks like a little line going up and down next to lines going sideways, or an arrow almost making an E there. So when I click on that, this is my spacing menu. So what I want to do is actually change my spacing from the single or the 1.15, which it is preset at, to double spacing. All right. And you'll see that there was an option there to add extra spaces between paragraphs, but we don't want that. Plain MLA formatting should end up looking very much like this. So you're going to have the full thing double spaced. All of your paragraphs are indented using the tab button one time. Your title is at the top of your paper. It is centered. I'm going to point out here that this is not in bold, it is not underlined, and it is not in italics. None of those things are necessary for MLA formatting. Using those on your essay will actually lose you points because that is against MLA formatting. So please don't do that. The only time you should have quotes in the title of your essay is if there is a direct quote in the title. All right. You should also not have any kind of like subheadings underneath this or anything like that. Those are going to be for things like academic papers that you might be writing about research and things like that. All right. So if you have any other questions, you can always ask your teacher or email somebody at your school's writing lab if you have one. Or if you are in my particular class, you can always ask me in class any questions that you might have. And there's also plenty of resources, including the Modern Language Association, which runs MLA. That's what MLA stands for, is Modern Language Association, to check out their latest formatting requirements.